You know, when your name is Cal Swenson, it only means one thing. Not only do you have one of the best names in hockey history, you got to be the Cal Swenson who played on the infamous 1968 Flin Flon Bombers with Bobby Clarke, Reggie Leach, and Jerry Hart. Cal Swenson, probably one of the most important players of his era to come out of Watson, Saskatchewan, born April 16, 1948, left winger, 5'8", 175 pounds. Got his major start in junior again with the Brandon Wheat Kings, but he moved from Brandon in '68 to play with Flin Flon, and that year he had a combined 44 goals in 52 games, including 91 points. Now, he ended up being undrafted, but found his way with the Tulsa Oilers of the CHL over 4 seasons. His best year with Tulsa was 1972 with 81 points in 66 games. Now in '73, in a very, very important pickup for Winnipeg, he was signed by the Jets. He had 28 points in 77 games that year, including 7 goals and 6 points in 14 playoff games. Now '74, he only played 25 games with the Jets, but spent the majority year with the Jacksonville Barons of the AHL. '75 with the Syracuse Eagles of the AHL, he had 61 points in 68 games, including 27 goals. But unfortunately, that was his last major gasp in minor hockey. But again, going from playing with Bobby Clarke and Reggie Leach, and within a couple of years playing with Bobby Hull, so the stories he could probably tell. But Cal Swenson, from what my research tells me, a very, very popular player and a very rugged player as well. Wasn't scared to take a penalty here and there. But I don't think he was as, what do you call, aggressive as Bobby Clarke and Reggie Leach. But it'd be interesting to see the stories he would say about some of the road trips with this team, because I guess Reggie and Bobby had great fun on the road, driving the fans of the opposing teams nuts with their increasingly important goal and point total. Because Clarke had 168 points that season where Cal was on the team. Reggie had 131. Reggie scored 87 goals that year, can you imagine? Between them, the two of them, 148 games. And that's the Flin Flon team, ladies and gentlemen, that went 47, 8, 5, and 0. Probably one of the best junior teams of their era. And, they very rarely that year diverted from their main roster, because he only played 60 games that year, comparable to a Maritime Hockey League schedule of 50 games. So, and head coach Pat Ginnell once said that's probably one of the best Flin Flon teams he ever coached, and I tend to agree. So, ladies and gentlemen, thanks for listening. Just remember, if you have any requests or comments on what we're doing here, more than appreciate it. And don't forget, we're doing these 1, 2, and 3 year WHA Wonders as a tribute to the systems and the regions that produce these players. They kind of get overlooked in the shuffle of all the great second and third level players in WHA history, and we're kind of trying to shine the light because they deserve recognition. Because to play in the WHA or NHL in the '70s, boys, you got to be talented. Because there was influx of European players, influx of Americans. Jobs were not say tight, but jobs were hard to keep because there was 5 players fighting for 3 jobs at the end of every roster, and that's important to recognize these players that did make it, ladies and gentlemen. So that's a Legend of Cal Swenson. Thanks for listening. Bye.